right? One hand is going up while the other is going down. That's all jazz is. Gang, 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 gang. It's all based on the double shuffle. Jazz. People make this big deal out of playing jazz, and they work on all these different kind of licks that they've heard playing, which is cool, right? That'll come out within the context of you just understanding what the essentiality of jazz is, which is getting this thing to swing. And it's a double shuffle. Really, it's based on the double shuffle. It's not all this fancy. The reason I say that is because that's how I used to feel about it. Jazz, I'm not quite sure. It's like, it's not what you think it is. There are certain idiosyncrasies and things that you pick up as you go along, and that just, after listening enough, they just come out and you're playing, you know. But yeah, and that was the other thing, right? I'm used to doing it like this, but you know, worked on it that way. But let's see. Me boy. Two up and two down. I'm playing simultime here. And you try to bring the melody out within the context of the double. It's just, the melody is within the double shuffle. It's all there.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it really hard to rush or slow down when you're actually singing the melody to yourself and playing it within the context of this. This is really the double shuffle. Yeah. That's more important than all this fancy stuff that you think jazz is, right? And everyone's really happy if you can create that feeling on the bandstand, you know, everyone. They just want it to have a certain feeling. So
exactly.
It's got to swing like a mug. And that's that Richard Martinez J concept, right? It's not, pardon me, boy. Like on,
that's right.
Well, that's how I used to conceive of time, like a ruler, every inch or every 16th of it, every quarter of every half an inch. There's these divisions that look like this. This is what was in my head when I play. And you want everything to line up. And then the guys talk about, or you can play a little bit behind the beat. Well, but for me, this idea of the J was a game changer. This is the time, not this. It's not this, it's it's not a polka. It's got this to it, a beginning and an end it actually has emotion. It's like conducting, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay, so That's jazz, and that's why you need to be getting together with people. Got a cool studio, get together with people, and you start learning the heads to jazz tunes. Sure, you already know a bunch of them because you played a bunch of jazz, but you kind of went in, you've been in another direction recently, so don't let that go. No, but that's up to you.
No, I know. I'm doing other things musically, more of the country rock thing with the Steelhorse Gypsies band that I play with. But yeah, I've got to get back into the jazz thing.
Once a week, religiously, you start to form a particular day that everybody knows about, or a day or two, you know, or a weekend, and you move it around to suit people. When you start to develop a coterie of people that become your stablemates, so that if one guy can't make it, another can, or one gal can't make it, another can, right? Whatever you got going. Okay, so I got to keep moving because I'm a busy guy,
That's right.
Richard would say. You're a busy guy, usually facetiously. So we were working on the compound stroke, and we worked on the tap ruff. Okay. So what did you get the compound stroke up to?
The compound stroke, I can play that at 60.
Okay, let's hear it. Okay, well, Artie, you watch me play it. Don't play. See, I'm doing this. This is what we've been working on. And so you've not really, you haven't really owned that motion. I know you've done it, so you actually can do it. That's what's so cool about the strokes, because you can take something in isolation and get it to work. But if you put written note in front of you, strokes, and now your mind has to conceive of the entirety of the sticking and how you're going to make motions, how are you going to play said stroke. With this technique, we played in other techniques, we'll play it differently. And then you'll be considering how to play it with those techniques, or you'll just play, Dick would call it, an any old way player. He'll just play it any old way, and maybe that'll work. You know, there've been some very great drummers who probably didn't really know what they were doing technically, but just, okay, so I get that too. Richard Wilson's favorite drummer was Elvin Jones. He wasn't known to be like the hands guy. He was the music guy. So I get that, you know, but maybe we could have both. So this has to happen. You don't have to, but there's no need. All I'm looking for is a note on the way up and an accent on the way down. Right? The upstroke is leading to the accent, which is the second eighth note. Now the Appogiatura, which is the the drag, the two notes that precede the first right, which is the up. I'm making a little turn for those. See, just making a little turn. So you're getting this. Let's see.
I was always under the impression you wanted me to kind of turn from parallel.
Just stay with me. Just stay. So this hand's making a little tap. So you don't play from parallel. I'm making a little turn. You could play from parallel, but I'm not. So let's see, what am I doing? Okay, so it's going that. So a little turn. Da 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 ba. Oh, and then after the little turn, there's another little turn. This is why the two surfaces is cool. So it's going. So all this hand is doing is this. That's all that's happening. Over and over. Now the right hand, all that's happening is. Oh, and by the way, we're not playing the entirety of the comp, now we're really playing the 25th rudiment, which is cool. Maybe that's what we need to do. But over here, this is all that's happening. Over and over. So you've got this in this hand, in the right. And in the left, you've got that. That's all it is, over and over. But the motions have to be correct, with a proper grip, with fulcrums and all these little things. And yet it's incredibly simple. So go ahead, play it again. Just play it without a metronome for it. Yeah, go ahead and put the metronome on. Joe, sorry about that. Just play the 25th rudiment. Let's isolate these motions.
Okay.
Because well, we don't need to add more to the stroke until you have these motions. Keep playing for a sec. Just keep playing. Okay, so it's okay. You can play it that way. But you know you're turning up to the ceiling and you're right. I know it's tiny. It's not very much, so you can.
Okay, I'll minimize that right now.
Let's just take a look at it. Go. Notice what happened though. Okay, so you can do it, but notice what happened as soon as you really concentrated on not turning to the ceiling on your up and the right, the whole thing became quieter, and suddenly you were only coming up this much. See, watch. We can still make a big throw. I see it. I still drop it from. Still drop it from parallel. I'm just making a big motion. This is all I'm doing. And I happen to touch on the way up. Watch. Just here, do this with me. Do this with me. Yeah, I leave the bead down every time. Now watch, how easy it is to touch. Now touch on the way up. The motion doesn't change, you see? I think your motion changed when I had you coming. Watch how high I'm coming up. I'm coming up. I'm coming. Look how big the motion is. Here, listen. Hear the wind? Hear the careful with this. The whip.
Yeah.
Can you hear it making a sound?
Yeah.
Can you? Listen.
Yeah, there we go. I heard it.
So if you're going to come up this high, the arm will follow. The elbow will move. It's coming up. Look how high I've come up. I see. I don't really think you were doing that. And then you're going to go in the other direction. Do it again. Don't lead with your elbow. Do not lead with your. It's leading here. Just think of this coming up. Just think of this coming straight up. Yeah, see? You focus on the wrist. This will follow if you leave it alone. But if you're going to bring this up this high, I don't know how else you're going to get up there unless you do something like this. But now this looks like it's at an angle. It doesn't remain flat, or as flat as possible. I know something would roll forward. Yeah, you see? There. And then you turn that around. Yeah, I just don't feel like you're really feeling how everything unravels. Right? That's the torque Dick would talk about. Torque. Sending the energy up to the beat. There. You don't have to rush it. Watch. I don't have to come down fast to feel that. I can come down nice and easy. I just get the timing of the torque to roll out. I torque it out. By the time I get to the surface, the bead is moving so quickly that I need to work hard because of the timing. Watch. Gotta come up for, you didn't come up as high. You lost the, and as the beat is coming up, you feel everything moving in the opposite direction. No, come on, it's all gotta be one smooth thing. Do it again. Okay, no, you just kind of threw the bead back. It didn't feel like it was connected to the rest of the system. There you go, it's better. Okay, now you just make a note on the way up. It's already down. Yeah, see, nothing really changed. That's it. Do it again. You keep doing it over and over. That's it. There you go. Better. Now all you're going to do is go da 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 da, and now in the left hand. Let's take a look at. Oh, I can't take this. Sorry, dude. Can't do it. I'm sorry. That's an important call too. But the lesson comes first right now. I'm sorry. Interesting. So left hand now. What is the left hand doing? Left hand is going. That's all the left hand is doing. Can you do that? Think about the fulcrum. Think about the 3-finger grip. Just turn your wrist, leave your arm alone. It's not bad at all. If you put the two together, don't change the right now. Right, just making that tap and a big throw. That's the worst thing you did. Let's see. Let's see. How would you do that? Do that? Can you do that? I'm leaving one note out.
Okay, yeah, I lost the connection there, Kevin. Go ahead.
what I'm doing is I'm leaving the upstroke out, just so you can learn what it feels like in the right to make a big motion. Because you don't have to make an up. Now I'm playing some other stroke or making something up. Instead of making the up, I'm just making a throw. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Can you do that? Try. You don't get to make the up.
Oh, hold on a second.
I'm asking you to play less, and it got harder. And you've lost your, see how you don't have a throw again? It's okay, it's cool, because you do. You're going to get this within a minute or two. Okay, so show me what the left is doing.
Well, the left is just going.
Why are you making the second note louder? Why are you making the single louder? It's the same wrist turn twice. One rebounds, the other doesn't. There, that's very good, man. Now, so you're going to go da-da, 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 No, it's going to be, you have to play that left hand and finish it. It's going to go da-da, da, throw.
Oh.
That's it. There you go. It's da-da, da, throw. Da-da, da, throw. That's it. Yeah, but look at your throw. You're all down in here. You're down in here somewhere. Okay, now you've gone, but your left is beautiful. You have the right. Just show me a throw in the right. No left. You got the left now. Show me a big throw in the right. Don't you remember what we did? I came up like this, man. So did you. Come on up. And then the torque on the way down. You remember all that? That's what you do after you go da da da. You go da da da, and you have to get this part of the throw on the right and the down or the torque. There. Come on, all the time in the world. There, it's starting to come. Now, what I don't want to have happen, it's not too bad. There just might be a little bit of a remnant of something pre-Spivack technique from something else someone else taught you, which is maybe more akin to leading with the arms, so you create a whip by leading with. But what we're doing is we're not doing that. We're not. It's not. It might stay with me. It might have a little bit of that kind of appearance, but it's not where you're taking. Whereas if you were to grab someone by the elbow and do this, you could get a whip, couldn't you? Right? Or we could do it by pulling our elbow into it. See, it's not. What we're doing is we're creating this height that doesn't feel like we're going to try to whip it down. All we're doing is bringing this thing up really high, right? So it's not the kind of whip. That's why you want to be careful about using the word whip. So it's about you're coming up high, right? Right. Okay. There you go. Okay, so you're coming up high, and come up just a tiny bit more, like to here. Yeah, see your elbow moved a little. Not so that it could whip back, so that it can collapse, so that this part of your arm that is now, because it's attached to the wrist, is in a raised position, it can collapse as you cock your wrist, and it creates the feeling of a whip. See, good, but watch. Let it collapse. Yeah, see, you're not trying to whip it. you're letting it fall as you turn your wrist, and it creates a whip-like effect. Don't do it slow. No. First, just come up. I don't mind if you do that slow. Come on up. Come up. I'm like halfway up my, here to somewhere. That's right. And then turn your wrist and let everything collapse onto your leg. Can you let it collapse on your leg? You're sitting in a much higher position. Okay, so we're just lifting this up. That's the puppet on a string. Right? It's all hanging. And then we're going to turn our wrist and everything is going to collapse. And it'll feel a little bit like a whip. Not bad. Okay, do that with a stick in your hand now. In other words, we're not trying to create a whip from the arm. We're raising, turning our wrist as everything falls. More like that. Okay, play the stroke again. Without the up, so it's not the stroke. Play the modified stroke that I invented. Come on, see, you don't think there's time. There is so much time. Watch. Let's see. There's plenty of time to come up. There's plenty of time to come up. There's plenty of time. Just because I'm going faster, at a certain point, it will become probably impossible to make a throw at a certain speed. Human body can only do so much, but that's way faster than what you're doing. So for you, as soon as it got faster, it just turned back into something like this again. Now, come on, I want you to raise. There's all kinds of time. Every time. Yeah, do that faster. Just do that faster. Forget the left hand. Come on, forget the left hand. Forget the left hand. That raise is high every time. It doesn't change because it goes faster. Raise higher. Just let it collapse. Turn your wrist to the ceiling. Don't swing your elbow out. Just lift your hand up. And when you get to the top, you change direction. Okay, now put the other hand, keep that going. There you go. Come on, keep the right going. Doesn't change, don't change it. Okay, now give me the up in the right. Don't change the height. Come on, you're making it smaller just because you're touching on the way up. It doesn't change a darn thing. Now you gotta stop raising high. Go back to not making it up. Go back to not making it up. Keep the other hand going. Keep the other hand going. You're not coming up as high now. Now your elbow is by your side and you're only coming up to here. I had you coming up to here. Come on, more. You don't have to push your elbow. Just raise your wrists more. It'll come out on its own. It will. Yeah, it'll come out. That's it. You don't have to even think about it. Now, cock your wrist to the ceiling. That's every time. Make an up and do that. Tap. You're already touching. Come on. Tap and no. Now you're leading with your elbow. Raise your hand. That's fine. Okay. Something like that. Your elbow's out off an awful lot. Maybe. Okay. Come on down. And keep doing that now. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Come on, you got to come up just as high. Just because you're tap, watch. No upstroke, upstroke. Up motion, upstroke. Up motion. Look, it doesn't change. Upstroke. Sorry, up motion, upstroke. Doesn't change. Go ahead and do that. Be a cool exercise for you. I'll include that in your lesson. So up motion, then an upstroke. Come on up as high. Good. Keep the upstroke going and add the left hand, and you'll have it. If you can keep the right doing that. There you go. Come on, keep coming up that high. No, you're coming up less already. There you go. Come on, raise it up. There it is. Now you're the backbeat. you can go out and get the gig with Nickelback. Nickelback. You know, if he needs a song. Daniel, is it Daniel Adair?
Yeah, that's right.
I've had interactions with him. Gotta come on up. You stop coming up. You're not coming up. I mean, don't you feel that, Joe? There. Okay, now go the other way. Go the other way. It's just the whole thing, a mirror image of itself. See? Left doesn't want to make a big throw either. I think at this point, Dick Wilson would be screaming, "Raise! Turn your wrist! Raise!" You're not going to raise. Kevin, you're not going to raise. You're not going to raise you're not going to come up. I can't get you to come up. You won't come up. We all love you. So it's your body. Don't you feel your body? I need you to come up. See if I can do it in my left.
I'm a little broken today, but go ahead.
There it is. It's the same. Good. Yeah, get there. Don't make more. It's only 2 notes for the Appogiatura. You're playing 3, which is cool. Means you're feeling some kind of fulcrum. Raise. You'll stop the raising. There you go. Lead with your wrist. Now go the other way. Go back and forth. Keep raising the right. Right's not raising as much as the left. Make a big deal about how high you come up. I know it seems like a little bit of work. I know it's a little bit of work. So is swimming. I know it's a little work, but it's swimming. I know tennis is a little bit of work. We have to come all the way back, but it's tennis. I know that golf is a little bit of work. Ping pong, maybe a little less work. I don't know. Don't lead with your elbow. Don't lead with your elbow. Come straight up. Good. Good. So we're going to work on this from 48 This is the 25th rudiment. So we backed up a little bit. Better. Now you're nice and because you know it's as if you're trying to conduct. You're conducting a symphony orchestra, and you're always like this. It's like, how are you going to bring in an orchestra for Beethoven's Fourth? Da 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 da. No. Oh, come on. We have to learn the okay. We have to learn the full spectrum of motion.
That's right.
Okay, the human body can move in a certain way with regards to playing the snare drum, from a very small motion to a very large motion, right? And everywhere in between. You can go everywhere in between, and it gets louder and louder and louder, and then quieter and quieter. Here. And I'm not changing anything but the height of motion, and it changes the volume. It'll do that with stick in hand. Should, right? Don't play for a sec. Don't play. Okay. Get louder. And all I'm doing, nice and relaxed, just making the same motion but bigger. It just gets louder and louder. Okay, go ahead and try that real quick. And then we got to keep moving.
So just start quietly and then.
Yeah, make a little motion and grow it. No, wait. This might be a cool exercise for you. I'm here at parallel, at the floor, and I'm making a little motion. So look, it's gonna have all the properties described in what I told you about how to make a big motion. Okay, don't play for it. Just stay with me. It's going to come up here, leading from the wrist. It's going to, right, and it comes up. Can come up pretty high, right? And then you're going to cock your wrist, and everything's going to collapse. Now here it is, micro. Watch. I've done this, which is akin to this, but I've only moved half an inch, but I've come up, see? And now I'm going to reverse it, just like I did when I was up here. Okay? Now there's less of the arm involved because I haven't how would you say, triggered? That's not quite the right word. But I haven't motivated the arm leading from the wrist to as much of a degree. See? Or engaged, see? The arm is reacting. There's some kind of mathematical equation, I'm sure. It's countervailing. And so if I only move this much in the wrist, the arm only moves this much. If I move the wrist high more, pronate more, come up higher, the arm moves a little more. If I come up even higher, the arm moves more. If I come up higher still, the arm moves more. Everything is in relationship to each other. Okay, so just try making a small downstroke, tiny one. See what I don't want. Watch. It almost has the quality of like you're prying something up, or if there's weight here, and you're prying weight up. It's not this thing where you're trying to get this thing to go into motion so you can sling it back down. So that's why I never see you. See, I wouldn't mind, because there is a momentary. If we really slowed it down enough, you'd see. There's a moment where everything is hanging. See, you got that up here because you went up here and you felt, look, you go up, it's hanging, and I'm going to bring it down. Here, it's so small, I just saw it. But no, watch, it still hangs. Look, then I can torque. Remember this torque? Yeah, now you can go the other way. Nope, but you're coming up too much. Come up tiny bit. Too much, come up less. No, you really have to get to the floor so you know how much, where your starting point is. Come up a half an inch. That's it. It's hanging there. Now give a tiny torque in the other direction. Better? Tiny, isn't it? Tiny little torque. Too much of a torque relative to how high you came up. Smaller. And don't, if you want a quiet note, you're going like, exaggerating, but watch. It's watch. Very quiet. There you go. Do it again. Yeah. Don't keep coming up so you can yank something. You're coming up like you pried something up, and then you're going to reverse it. And reverse it. There you go. Now come up higher. Pry it up and reverse it. Come up higher. Relax your arm. Come on up higher. That's good. Come up higher. There you go. Torque. Come on. Come back down. Torque. Torque too much. Come up the same height. Good, torque. There you go. Come up higher. 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 Come on, come up now. Start to really come up. Come up. There you go. Now torque. That's getting louder. Come up even higher still. Torque. Okay. See? It got louder. Just by following this recipe. Okay? Just this much cinnamon, a little nutmeg, right? And it really does work out. This stuff actually works. It's kind of amazing. I don't know how these guys figured this stuff out.
No, it does. It does work. It's pretty ingenious.
Right. It is, and so seemingly obvious, and yet it takes a minute because I just like you, I came in with all this. It used to bug me to hear this with bad habits. It's like, well, I'll just replace them with another habit with this. It's a good habit. It doesn't work that way. First, you have to chip away at all this weird stuff that's in your body for years and years and years. Right? So it takes a minute. That's it. I'll give you an exercise where we'll just have you come up slowly. Let's see. We'll just put it at 40 and have you play quarter notes, and they'll get louder and louder and quieter, each hand individually. Now let's take a look at the tap Ruff. I want to take you somewhere before I have to go.
All right.
If you were here in town, I'd have you come out to the gig and sit in, and then we force jazz. Okay, so you have the flam tap Ruff out. So
one of these days I'm going to make it out to LA and I'll come out to your gig and sit in.
I like it. And don't forget the Swiss Chalet.
Yeah, I'll bring you some Swiss Chalet.
Right? A friend of mine loves that Toronto pizzeria, Dante's, that Mama Papa Dante's. He brought an extra large Dante's pizza on the plane from Toronto back to LA with him. I have a hell of a lot of respect for him suddenly.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. What did you get this up to?
I can play it at 60.
Okay, let's see. Interesting. I noticed that now you don't seem to have a problem playing from parallel on your up. Your up's better, right, for whatever reason. On this stroke, your up's better. However, and I know you're bringing some of what you just learned to this, but you still don't want to really come up. Okay, but it's an accent. Watch. And we're going to exaggerate it because you have a problem, seemingly, really letting the arms alone, leading with your wrists, and really coming up. Yeah, I haven't really practiced this. I haven't played this since I last saw you, but yeah, it can be done. And the arms can be relaxed.
It's tricky to play faster, that's for sure.
Well, right now, if we can just get it to work slower. So at 60, we're here. So much time to get from a low position to a high position while in the process of making a tap or a rebound, which is the definition of an upstroke. Yeah, like that. So slow the metronome down, slow it down to 40.
Let me Let me pronate the hand forward a bit more as I do it. But that's gonna, I mean, obviously as you play faster, the amount of that up will be smaller.
I kept it pretty high.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did. That was
right, but I think that's what I was doing. Remember, there is a moment where remember I said it was like it's like you've pried something up. It's as if you've got a weight here, and you're lifting it up.
Yeah.
You're not trying to swing it out. It little watch, and then you're going to let. It's almost like you're going to use some of that weight, whatever weight might be here, if you can imagine it. I'm trying to come up with creative ways to help you get this. It's just you're trying to get this metronome or whatever weight is strapped here up and down. See? So it's like I'm prying this weight up. You can feel it. And then what I want to do, if I want to make a note, I lose that weight, but we can actually make notes without coming up very much. We can leave the bead down. Okay? I don't have to throw it, but I can. So the idea, if you can just get the idea of not yanking it out so that the metronome swings, the weight swings out, or you come up straight and then you try to flick it in, and the metronome will go fly. This weight will go flying around. You can kind of really control.
Yeah.
You can really control this so-called imaginary weight that you've pried up. Right, like that, you see? And now you're going to cock, and let's let everything collapse. It's that simple. Or like that. Right? Come up really high, but we don't want to throw that metronome, that weight off. You want to come up, feel it sitting there. It's gonna help us. Whatever we pried up is waiting to be released, and you're going to release it. Try it again. There you go. And so to prove that you've propped something up and it's hanging there, just spend that moment right there. It's tiny. Spend that moment right there before you cock or towards the ceiling. Yeah, you see, it slows it down too. Don't keep it moving. It shouldn't be wiggling at the top. See, sometimes I see this. Watch, I see this moving side to side as you get to the top. It doesn't. It comes straight up. It doesn't move other than up and down. And then it comes down. It doesn't swing out. There's no motion to the side. It's up and down. Right, like that. Then you can cock. See? Yeah, see? More power like that. Feels more power. Seems more powerful. Good. Now go put that up to 60 and see what it looks like.
I have to make a note of that when I watch the video.
Now you're not your body can be nice and low, all the way to the floor. You're always waiting right down here. Okay.
I'm just trying to, yeah.
Not bad.
I just wanted to see if I could actually, at 60, I could actually come up this high. I could pronate the hand this forward, this much forward, and get it to collapse.
And you did.
Okay. I feel this is a little rickety or stiff right now.
Okay.
It's not. It's sort
of. The body will work out those kinks, but slight weighting at the top. We're not just getting to the top so we can come down. we're waiting and enjoying the relaxation of this position. Hang, 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 hanging, almost just for a second, isn't it? Hang, 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 throw, hang, throw, hang, throw, hang, throw, hang, throw, hang. As you slow down, there's even more time. We could do it like this too, couldn't we? Really, yeah, I'm hanging. Now I can even, there's almost a moment where I stop. Try it. Yeah. Oh, that one didn't hang. That's got to hang for a minute now. So slow. There you go. No, let it hang longer. Go slow down if you, there. Slow down if you need to. No, you didn't get to the top and wait. Then you want to move through it there. You have to get to a particular place and wait like that. No, it didn't wait. The right's better. There. Did that? Almost. Right, waited a little. There. See, now I'm going to come back. Like, now I'm going to come back. There you go. Okay, so that's it. 40 to 60. In fact, that's even slower. So how would we do that? Cool. I'm a genius.
I can practice that just to get that hang.
Yeah.
The hang.
Let's hang with the hang for just a minute. Let's see. So now what is that? It's like a half note.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to play it like that at half the speed. And then when you're ready, you can take it up to full speed, but cool, isn't it? It gives you a chance to hang. I know the whole thing is really, hang is so tiny, but for you just to spend a minute, like this is how high I'm going to go. I'm not just going to, here's what you were doing. I'm not just going to kind of get to here and blow through it. Okay, that's a little willy-nilliness to that. It's got to come up and down, up, down, up, get the V, down. Got to create a V at a certain height, right? You see the V, down, or tiny. There is a small V, down. And we want to time it so we're not hanging too long at the top. See, it's a different timing, isn't it? Than that. Let's see. Up, down, up, down, up, down, down. I guess I have to move a little more slowly to time it, or I'll get to the top too soon, and I won't have any. Then I'll have to wait too long. If I move too slowly, I won't have the little hang moment. See, there's a timing to the stroke, and you're starting to get it. Now I'm going to take this stroke, create further connectivity because I want to keep you going with doubles and row strokes. So we could take this stroke, and if we didn't start with the accent, although we could play doubles and row strokes starting with the accent, you can play them that way. But let's think of how we can convert the tap ruff into what will become doubles and row strokes. See, it's the essence of these motions. That's what I'm trying to take you to. So if we had, instead of the accent at the beginning, what if we went So now the accent is on the and. Okay. Now, what if we went and played it as triplets?
Yeah.
What is that?
Right, so
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the rebound. It could be wrist. There's wrist. It's a little slow for rebounds for you, perhaps. For anybody. There's rebounds. Here is wrist. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is again. Look. There's my big throw. Okay, so go ahead and start off with, based on the tap rock, but we're just going to play triplets with the accent on the last of the 3 notes.
so that was 40.
Sorry, yeah. So they're 8th note triplets. Yeah, look, your throw's better, you see? Come on, come up in the left. Come on up. Where's the hang in the left? Don't punch your first finger. Turn those into doubles on the wrist. Come on, turn those. There you go. Okay. There you go. So you're on the wrist there. Let's see what it looks like if we're at like 52. Let me see. I'm making this up as I go along here. See, it's just these motions, man. See, once you get, see, this is the brilliance of the Murray Spivack continuity. Now I could play it wrist. Or rebound. Let's see where this could go. Let's go to challenge you. Here it is at 72. Doubles are cool to play this way because the left hand's with the metronome and then the right hand. So you're not always banging on the quarter note. So it's kind of clever to actually play them as triplets. Let's try. Put the metronome at 72. I know we're jumping, but I gotta get out of here. I've got. You're going to start off with the triplets and singles. Based on the tap rough. Lost your height in the throw. You lost your height. There it is. Turn that into doubles. Not bad. Joe, not bad. See? Now play doubles. Play doubles. That speed. Same volume in both hands. Okay, you get the idea. Let's see what it looks like. What does it look like?
I was playing those on the rebound when I did it.
Yeah, I know. This is 92. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. This shouldn't be that big a deal. That's the idea. Because it can really be much faster. But you're starting to get it now because of these motions that you're learning, right? All it was a tap ruff turned into triplets, but it's the motion. See, that's not it. It's not this little thing. It's I want to get you to sure we can play in here too, right? Look, watch. Here's a quiet 5-stroke roll. I can play a quiet 5-stroke roll. Or I can play a louder 5-stroke roll. And left hand and matched. Right, here's a louder 5-stroke roll. Right? Quiet 5-stroke roll. Okay. Can be done, and it's based on these motions. Good today. That was cool. Because we spent the time on the compound stroke, getting those arms to relax and follow your wrist, it improved everything. You notice?
I did. It got me, yeah, absolutely. Got everything loosened up in here. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
there you go. Now you're not swimming like this.
Oh, I know. I was a little tight.
This is how you were swimming. Now you're swimming. You actually, my God, my arms. I have arms. Raise. Turn your wrist. Yeah. I'm turning the camera. Good job, Joe.